How do you know if someone is possessed by the devil? Have you ever seen something so evil that it scared you to your core? Welcome back, everyone. Here today we will be taking a look at the top 10 scariest possessions, from nuns to priests. These stories are absolutely terrifying, and you won't believe some of them actually happened. Let's get into it. Starting us off at number 10, we have the Exorcism of Anneliese Michel. In 1975, Anneliese was an 18-year-old German girl who began showing signs of demonic possession. She started with symptoms such as uncontrollable shaking, violent mood swings, and even speaking in tongues. Although she had been treated by multiple psychiatrists, none could explain her behavior. Instead of seeking professional help, her family and 4 priests decided she needed an exorcism. Over the next 10 months, they performed the exorcisms, and each time, Anneliese's health would improve only to decline again soon after. During this time, she lost 34 pounds and had no hair, teeth, or fingernails left. After 67 exorcisms, she died. It was said that during the final exorcism, Anneliese levitated up to the ceiling. Autopsy reports showed no cause of death and instead blamed the priest for indirectly killing her through starvation and dehydration. But when graves were dug up to find the remains of the devil inside of her, it turned out Anneliese was possessed by 7 demons. 2 priests involved in the exorcisms were put on trial and convicted for manslaughter. No. 9. The Haunted Painting. This one may sound like it's straight out of a movie, but we promise it's real life. An oil painting sold at an auction house in England for more than double its price tag, not because of its beauty, but because of the haunting image behind it. Known as the Lady in Black, the painting was completed by Victorian artist Josephs, also known as Borodinovich. The painting depicts a woman in black clothing standing in a dark forest. When the new owner hung the painting in their home, strange things started happening. At first, they were small things like hearing whispers, smelling lavender, and feeling cold spots throughout the room. But then things escalated. They heard footsteps, shaking objects, and even saw the woman from the painting interacting with them. One day, the woman appeared in a photograph holding a gun. Another time, they found lipstick marks left by the woman on the mirror. And most frightening of all, they could feel her presence and smell her lavender perfume. When no one else was around, since then, the painting has been passed down, and each new owner experiences terrifying paranormal activity. Number 8. The Demon of the Hillside Strangler. Between the years of 1974 and 1975, a series of brutal murders shook Los Angeles to its core. All of the victims were young women who had been strangled and mutilated. Police eventually caught up to Angelo Buono and his son, who were both later convicted for these crimes. However, some people believe there was more to the killings. After all, the police never did find a motive for the crimes. Many believe the father and son were influenced by a demon, explaining the seemingly senseless attacks. They named it the Hillside Strangler, because of the location where many of the crimes took place. While the men are still serving life sentences for the crimes, the true story behind the killings is still unknown. Number 7. Possessed Doll. If you're scared of dolls, then we suggest skipping this one. A boy in England woke up in the middle of the night to find his hand reaching out and grabbing his sister's hair. At first he thought he was dreaming, but he soon realized his hand was moving on its own. He tried to stop himself, but he couldn't control his body. Eventually he managed to push his sister off the bed, and she survived the fall. The doll then stopped moving. He screamed for his mother, who came running and ended up calling the police. The boy's parents had no idea what had happened, and neither did any of the doctors who examined him. The only thing they could come up with was that the boy had sleep paralysis. But this didn't explain why the doll moved on its own. So what do you think happened? Let us know in the comments below. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more videos like this. Number 6. Ghost Train. Ever taken a wrong turn onto a road less traveled? Well, maybe avoid these roads at all costs. Back in the early 20th century, a train carrying Jewish refugees derailed and crashed. The crash killed more than 100 people, leaving many bodies buried underneath the tracks. Since then, drivers have reported seeing a ghostly train that disappears after a few minutes. It's believed to be the train of Jewish refugees, searching for their loved ones who died in the crash. While many write it off as a ghost train, others believe it's a warning to stay away from the tracks. No. 5. Ghost of a Highland Village. Wouldn't expect ghosts to follow you home from a vacation, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to a tourist visiting Scotland. He visited the village of Highland and learned about the history of the village. 400 years earlier, the entire village had vanished without a trace. Some say they were wiped out by disease, while others say they were murdered by Vikings. No one knows what truly happened, but their spirits are said to roam the area. After learning this, the tourist took a picture of the area where the village once stood. When he developed the photo, he saw a woman standing behind him in the picture. He returned to the village to snap another photo, but when he looked at the photo later, he saw nothing but white mist. Number 4. The Enfield Poltergeist. The Enfield Poltergeist case is one of the most famous haunting cases in history. It took place in London in the 1970s and followed a single mother and her 4 children. One day, objects started flying through the air and shaking pictures off the wall. The children claimed there was a ghost in the house, but no one believed them until one day a local priest and 2 journalists witnessed a wardrobe move across the room by itself. From then on, the media went crazy over the story, although some people doubted the validity of the claims. The haunting continued for more than a year before finally stopping. The mother and her children all agreed the haunting was real, but no one else ever figured out what was going on. Number 3. The Incubus. There are several myths and legends surrounding incubi and succubi, but we guarantee this story is real. In 2015, a married man reached out to paranormal investigators, claiming he was being haunted by an incubus. Incubi are known as demons that prey on sleeping women, draining their sexual energy. He explained that his wife would often wake up in the middle of the night with strange markings on her body, such as hickeys. He was also losing his own sexual desire. They tracked the demon back to a book of Satan and other occult materials that he used to practice rituals. Once they destroyed the artifacts, the haunting ceased. 2. Ritualistic abuse. For those who don't know, ritualistic abuse refers to psychological or physical abuse conducted within a cult setting. The victim is often forced to comply through fear and manipulation. In some extreme cases, the abuse can be sexual or result in torture. In 1994, a woman known as Michelle sat down and wrote a letter to her therapist, detailing all the traumatic events she experienced during childhood. In the letter, she described how she was repeatedly abused by members of her church, including the pastor. She was only 9 years old at the time and still suffers from the effects today. Her story led to the uncovering of more than 200 cases of ritualistic abuse throughout the United States. And coming in at no one, we have ghosts on tape. Technology has come a long way, but it wasn't always easy. Just ask the people who captured this video. In 2015, a group of friends gathered around a table for a seance. One of the friends filmed the event, which quickly took a terrifying turn. As soon as the lights went out, they started hearing voices and footsteps. When they turned the camera towards the stairs, they saw shadowy figures walking up and down. But that wasn't the only thing that happened. Objects were moving on their own, doors were opening and closing, and they even saw a full apparition. The group stayed in the house for the next 3 days, capturing audio and video evidence of the paranormal activity. They believe the house was used for satanic rituals in the 1800s, and the ghosts are the souls who lost their lives. Well, that's all for now. But if you want to see more videos like these, click the link on screen now. Thanks for watching. And remember, stay sweet. T. Hey, did you like this video? If so, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more amazing content. If you really want to connect with us, join our community. We've got awesome people there. And if you're still not convinced, check out our channel. We're pretty cool, if we do say so ourselves.